There are a lot of moving parts when it comes to preparing for retirement. There are so many decisions that can truly impact each other within the entire process. And though Megan is back with us, and we've talked about this idea of it being this retirement puzzle of sorts. And I know you want to kind of just get back into that. I want to just take it a next level, and we're going to bring taxes into this because I know you love
nasty
taxes.
Three-letter word.
I know. The three-letter, we went from budget to taxes. Yeah, we're not having fun here on this show today. There is this idea, we call it the Tax Torpedo, when you start taking the required minimum distributions, get Social Security going in there. Maybe a lot of our viewers have heard this term. Maybe explain what it is to those who haven't.
Yeah, I think people are just worried, they're concerned, and they need to be aware that as they do things, it can trigger higher taxes. So now the good thing is in Kansas, we don't have tax now on Social Security at the state level. So that's helpful. It used to be the higher income earners did have to pay tax on their Social Security. But even things like higher income earners have to worry about a Medicare premium increase or their Part D premium increase. That's called an IRMA tax. If we're not talking about it and people aren't aware of it, then they make decisions in a vacuum. They're making decisions to do maybe a Roth conversion or take additional distributions this year or whatever the case may be, and they don't know how them doing that could impact other aspects of their picture. And so this torpedo that we have to dodge when it comes to taxes is just making sure we understand the ramifications of what it looks like when you take those distributions.
When I start thinking about you saying the word dodging something in retirement, no one really wants to do that. No one wants to put that much effort into it. How can
I do.
I know you do.
I do.
And we appreciate you for that, Megan. That's why you're here and your team every single day. That's what they're doing with your trust process. And we'll get into that, I'm sure, at some point. But how do we start to take control back ourselves, too? We also want to feel a little bit in control of this.
Absolutely. And so the thing I think that is really important about how this whole process can work when it comes to taxes is just understanding how your investments are taxed to you. And if we understand that you've got your taxable bucket, and we talk about it all the time, the different buckets, if you will, you've got your money that's going to be taxable annually. On any interest that grows, it's going to be taxable. You get a 1099 in January for the year previous. Then you've got tax deferred accounts like your retirement accounts, your 401ks, your IRAs. They're going to be taxed when you take it out. And then you've got your most efficient dollar when it comes to taxation, which is the tax-free money. And wouldn't it be great if all of our money was there?
Yes,
Roth IRAs, life insurance, maybe some other investments. Those are where we want to get to. That's like the holy grail of investing when it comes to taxation. But not all of our dollars can get there, and definitely not all at once. So our job is to help people understand how their dollars are taxed and then have us, with a strategy, start to move them along those corridors so we're jumping tax buckets, if we will, and getting them more tax efficient.
What goes into that strategy for withdrawing the income? That is something that I think is confusing for a lot of people. We get it in place, and then kind of knowing how to use it is sometimes it can paralyze people, to be honest.
I think there's just so many decisions that people can make in retirement. There's so many different ways that you can get to the end goal of this thing called retirement. How do I know how to do it? And most people have only done it once, and they don't know the ways to take the income, where to take it from. I think the other thing to consider too, Amy, is that how we're taking distributions might be different than what we did 5 years ago, 10 years ago, even 20 years ago, because we're in a different environment. We're in a different economic position, interest rate environment, market conditions, and definitely tax environment. So if we're paying less in taxation today, then maybe we take a little bit more from our tax buckets. Maybe we take a little bit more in either income or Roth conversions or doing something to make us more efficient with those dollars. And I think it's interesting because a lot of advisors, and it's not right or wrong, it just is, they try to run away from that tax conversation. I think most of the people in our office, with the advice that we give and the strategies that we talk about, we are running towards that conversation. We want to look at every nook and cranny of the tax code and see how can we make you as efficient as possible. And we're going to keep looking until we can't find anything else. And I think that's where people, they want to have some guidance. They want to have some direction because, just like you said, they've never done it before, so they don't know where to take the money from. Or they might have been working with maybe a broker or somebody that had a general philosophy that just said, okay, here's your money. You got $1 million. You can retire. Well, where's the income going to come from? Well, just call me when you need money.
And what about inflation?
what about taxes?
What
What
about
about
this?
healthcare?
Market
What about,
volatility, yeah.
you know, all the different things that impede on your dollar? And so I don't like well, just call me when you need money and we'll make it work. Like that, I want a different plan in motion. And most of our families want that plan too. They want to make sure that it's adjustable, that it can course correct. I mean, kind of think of it like a navigation system. We're going to put together a plan, but things are going to change. There's going to be something that pops up in your retirement that you didn't plan for. So we need to make sure that things are, that you can move things around, that things can be adjusted, that as, you know, your kids, what if they lose their job and they need to move back in with you? Or what if you have a parent with ailing health and you need to help them and maybe you're stepping out of the workforce for a while? All these different things can happen. And so we just have to make sure that we've got a plan that we can put into place when that happens.
So often we have this vision of what we want our retirement, and you should have that vision.
Right.
You absolutely should have the vision, but it's so clear in talking with you each week on this show how so many outside factors can start to impact that. Having that plan in place and a good team by your side.
And I think that process, Amy, that we take our families through, our trust process, helps people understand that we've got some of those parameters put in place. We've got a plan that can be adjusted as things needed, and we can course correct as we need to. And we've got somebody that can walk alongside them and lean into the type of knowledge that we have and the experiences that we've had so that we can look back and put that plan in motion.